The romantic date plan of Taehyung and Jungkook at an exclusive New York rooftop restaurant was totally ruined tonight. Intending to enjoy a dinner for two away from camera flashes as a secret couple, their intimate moment was suddenly ambushed by Jimin and Namjoon, who showed up uninvited. Instead of enjoying a quiet candlelight dinner, their table instantly turned into a chaotic scene due to the two BTS members arriving with a mission to hitch a free meal. The expensive Wagyu beef order that was previously fed with love by Jungkook instantly turned into a teasing session after Jimin and Namjoon joined them and ordered food in crazy quantities. Although their private date plan fell completely apart, that New York night still ended with carefree laughter, a silly photobomb picture, and Taehyung's sweet whisper promising to redo their secret date somewhere else tomorrow. Army, welcome back to VKook. Today we've got another exciting update you won't want to miss, so stay tuned until the end. That night, the biting chill of the autumn wind swept through the streets of Manhattan, carrying the glittering glow of New York City lights shimmering brightly from behind soaring skyscrapers. In a quiet corner of the city that never sleeps, an exclusive rooftop restaurant was hidden, offering a high degree of privacy for visitors wishing to enjoy the night without disruption from the hustle and bustle of the outside world. At the corner table surrounded by aesthetic potted plants and the faint glow of candlelight sat two handsome men whose good looks could rival the city's sparkle. Kim Taehyung and Jungkook, two global stars who behind their grand stage actually harbored a big secret as lovers deeply in love with one another, finally got a rare opportunity to enjoy some time alone together after weeks of being busy with an exhausting world tour schedule in the United States. The atmosphere at their table felt warmly intimate, contrasting sharply with the biting New York cold. Taehyung looked stunning wrapped in a long camel coat layered over a dark silk shirt, while Jungkook looked exceptionally handsome in an urban chic leather jacket with slightly messy hair that only added to his natural charm. Spread across the white marble table were various luxurious dinner menus, ranging from perfectly cut Wagyu steak to a bottle of high-quality red wine deliberately ordered to celebrate their night of freedom. There were no media cameras, no agency staff watching over them, and no fan screams. There was only the soft jazz music accompanying the worshipful gazes they cast at one another, as if the entire universe that night had been created solely for the two of them. Small talk and light-hearted laughter continued to flow between them, breaking the romantic silence of the night. Jungkook laughed out loud several times at Taehyung's silly story about a minor incident during their sound check at the stadium the day before, while Taehyung listened to every word from his lover with a wide smile that revealed the iconic boxy shape on his face. As a couple who rarely had private time due to the harsh glare of the public eye, simple moments like these were the most precious treasure to them. Jungkook's large hand reached across the table to clasp Taehyung's cold fingers, sending a wave of warmth straight to his lover's heart and making Taehyung blush faintly beneath the restaurant's dim candlelight. The climax of that night's romance almost happened when Jungkook, with a mischievous yet affectionate smile, cut a small piece of the finest Wagyu steak topped with a special sauce, then slowly raised it toward Taehyung's lips. With a gaze full of deep love, Taehyung opened his lips and accepted the bite, enjoying a cliché yet incredibly sweet moment just like any normal couple anywhere in the world. They had no idea that this small happiness wouldn't last long, because at that very moment, the rooftop restaurant elevator door that had been quiet suddenly clicked loudly, followed by a burst of boisterous laughter and noisy chatter that was too accurate and all too familiar to their ears. Instantly, the romantic atmosphere that had been built with such difficulty shattered into pieces within seconds. From behind the entrance emerged a silver-haired man in striking attire who ran briskly toward their table while waving enthusiastically, followed by a tall man with a triumphant smirk plastered across his face. Who else could it be if not Park Jimin and Kim Namjoon, two BTS members who somehow managed to track down Taehyung and Jungkook's secret hideout in the middle of the vast city of New York filled with millions of people. Their noisy footsteps immediately drew the attention of other patrons, leaving Taehyung momentarily frozen with his fork still hovering in the air, while Jungkook instantly put on the annoyed, sulky pout typical of a bunny whose food had just been snatched away in broad daylight. Without a shred of guilt or waiting for permission from the table's owners, Jimin directly pulled up an empty chair next to Taehyung, dropped his body casually, and exclaimed loudly, deliberately making his voice dramatic. Well. Look who's cozying up in a romantic corner without inviting the other members. How could you be so cruel as to enjoy meat this expensive all by yourselves while we are starving back at the hotel? Jimin shouted with his eyes narrowed in deep suspicion, while Namjoon followed by sitting across from them with a meaningful smile as if he had just successfully solved the most complicated international detective case of the century. Jungkook, who had been ready to sulk, immediately turned his face away toward the window, letting out a long sigh of resignation at the magical antics of his hyungs, who always seemed to possess a mysterious radar for ruining their private moments. Taehyung, initially shocked, slowly couldn't help but laugh seeing Jungkook's expression, which looked so annoyed yet resigned to the absurd situation. With the remnants of his dignity as a global star, Taehyung tried to remain calm and asked suspiciously of the uninvited intruders. "How on earth did you know we were here?" "We booked this place privately under a fake name so nobody would know," Taehyung asked, which was immediately met with a proud smirk from Namjoon. Namjoon then explained casually that a leader's intuition is never wrong, coupled with their manager's carelessness in leaving a reservation note on top of the hotel living room table, making their tracking mission that night the easiest thing he and Jimin had ever accomplished together. The table setting, which moments before had been an exclusive candlelight dinner for lovers, transformed drastically into a noisy roadside diner table filled with laughter and the typical chatter of young men from South Korea. Jimin and Namjoon had zero intention of leaving. Instead, they immediately called the waiter, asked for extra menus, and ordered various expensive dishes in absurd quantities under the pretext that the night was a celebration of their hard work during the tour in America. Jungkook, seeing the potential total bill looming in his head, glared sharply at Taehyung, signaling with a blink of his eyes for his eldest Hyung to chase the intruders away before their wallets were completely drained tonight. However, instead of chasing them away, Taehyung laughed the loudest and waved at the waiter to confirm all the crazy orders requested by Jimin and Namjoon, making Jungkook purse his lips even more in frustration yet total defeat. The encounter, originally designed as an exclusive romantic moment between two people in love, ultimately turned into a group dinner session filled with teasing, silly arguments about who was most often late waking up, and random stories about life behind the scenes of their world tour. Even though their original plan was completely ruined thanks to the presence of two members who loved disrupting intimate moods, not a single one of them felt any regret, because the familial bond they had built over many years always managed to bring its own warmth no matter where they were in the world. When the restaurant wall clock struck midnight and the plates on the table had all emptied into their hungry bellies, the four men finally decided to end the exhausting yet memorable night. Before stepping out of the restaurant to return to the hotel, Jimin managed to ask one of the restaurant waiters to take a photo of the four of them beneath the bright lights of New York City, producing a legendary photobomb portrait where Taehyung and Jungkook, standing side by side, had to endure having their heads wrapped around forcefully by Jimin and Namjoon in the silliest poses imaginable. That photo would undoubtedly be safely stored in their private galleries as one of the funniest memories from an exhausting yet endlessly laughter-filled world tour. At the end of the cold night, as they walked side by side along the Manhattan sidewalk toward their waiting vehicle under the shelter of a faintly starry night sky, Jungkook quietly slowed his pace so he could walk slightly behind the small group. Realizing his lover had fallen behind a few steps, Taehyung swiftly turned his body, walked backward facing Jungkook, then gently draped his arm around the bunny-toothed young man's shoulders while whispering softly right into Jungkook's ear so Jimin and Namjoon walking ahead wouldn't hear. "Tomorrow night, I won't let anyone find our dating spot again. It'll be just you and me at the edge of the world," Taehyung whispered with a sweet smile that made Jungkook's heart race, erasing all the annoyance of that night and replacing it with a growing love swelling deep within their chests. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.